So Aristotle was born in Stagira, Macedonia, northern Greece, in the early 4th century BCE, before the Common Era, 384 BCE to be exact. He is the son of a doctor, a man named Nicomachus, but he suffers childhood tragedy. His parents both die when he's around 13 years old, but he's taken in by another relative, and age 17, Aristotle moves to Athens to study at Plato's Academy, by far and away the most exalted higher education institute anywhere in the ancient world. He writes dialogues when he gets there, just as Plato has before him, and they are wonderful. We're told they're wonderful by other ancient authors, but they're lost. We don't have them today. It's so often the way with ancient literature. In 346, Aristotle is now 37, maybe 38, nearly years old, and so he's been at the Academy for about 20 years. Plato dies. And at this point, it is worth an R. No, you're absolutely right. Just because it's a long time ago doesn't make it less sad. Yes, R, Plato. Yes, sir, you are correct. R is right. You were right. I was heartless about the loss of Plato, and I now regret it. I feel bad for the loss of Plato. Everyone a moment for Plato. Good. So, Aristotle is his obvious successor, but he does not get the job. Right? Are his feelings hurt? Well, maybe. Certainly, Aristotle leaves Athens at this point and goes to Lesbos, an island up near Asia Minor, Turkey, as we would now say. On Lesbos, Aristotle sets aside his abstract philosophical thinking for a while and becomes a scientist. And when I say becomes a scientist, what I mean is that he invents biology. I mean, it is quite good. He invents zoology, he especially is passionate about marine biology. Lesbos has this big lagoon with lots of sea creatures in it. I can't look at them because generally they have more than 4 legs, and I'm afraid of things with more than 4 legs, as I'm sure we've established before in this show. But imagine, like wet bugs. Roughly 1/4 of Aristotle's surviving work is biology. So when we think of him as just a philosopher, we are selling him enormously short. He is passionately interested in the sciences. He classifies more than 100 types of animal. He doesn't always categorize animals the way that we might categorize animals. So, for example, he's very interested in the distinction between solitary and gregarious. We don't think about that much. Mankind, by the way, somewhere in between the two, bit of a mix. I suppose it depends on your neighbours. And possibly also you. But sometimes there are distinctions that we would make. Nocturnal and daytime animals is a distinction that he makes. He is really good at numbers and, basic information, which seems to us like we would just all know it now, but nobody had thought about writing this down or thinking about it in these terms until Aristotle does. So, for example, number of feet is something he thinks about a lot. Things that have 2 feet, men. Animals. Things that have 4 feet, loads of them. Loads of them do, especially lizards, dogs. Those are the ones he likes to mention. And then some things have more than 4 feet, for example, bees and centipedes. But we can't think about those because I am afraid of things with more than 4 feet. I would be afraid if you tied 2 mice together. And then he notes, this is such a beautiful example of what Aristotle is to me, then he notes that all these different creatures have different numbers of feet, but the one thing they have in common is they all have even numbers of feet. He has no space for pirates in his outlook. Would you please welcome my guests today, Professor Edith Hall and Dr. Adam Rutherford. Adam, I feel bad that I knew so little about Aristotle's science until I started this programme. Is he an important part of your discipline? Do you all talk about him in little secret science clubs?
Is he important? Massively. Do we all talk about him? Never.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like he gets discovered every generation or so, although not significantly in my generation. I can't think of one single conversation I've had with another scientist about Aristotle, which, as you say, is heartbreaking, that, because he's one of us. I totally claim him as the original biologist, possibly the original scientist.
Do you? Do you think he's as important as a scientist as he is as a philosopher?
I know nothing of his philosophy, but I know absolutely stacks about bivalves in Lesbos.
Never thought this would be the programme where this happened, but it turns out we've made Aristotle smutty. I just don't know.
Well, but biology is, effectively the study of sexual reproduction, at least at that time.